Okay, so here's the deal. I know what it's like when you hit that record button for the first time, you try talking, you want to make a perfect video, you open your mouth and nothing comes out. So I'm going to give you 5 tips that you can use right away to help you create better videos. I'm going to share 5 tips with you. Okay, so this video is going to be about, what the hell was I gonna say? I'm pulling a blank. Why can't I do this? Okay, let's do this. First tip. Shit. Don't you hate it when you hit record on that camera, you open your mouth and nothing comes out. Your brain goes blank, you forgot what you were going to say, you hit stop, you recompose yourself, you hit record again, and nothing. Literally nothing. Tip number 1. You're going to suck, so get over it. There's a fear that we have to be perfect in front of a video camera, and we don't want to suck or come across like we have no idea what we're doing. We hit record, nothing comes out. You know what? You're going to suck, so just get used to that idea. I just don't know how else to put it. Acceptance is key. Someone asked me a couple months ago, don't I need to be good on video to create a business or to grow a business? And I said, no, you just need to stay consistent. Because here's the reality, okay? We think that when we put our video to the interwebs and every social media platform, that everybody's going to see it, and if we suck, that doesn't make us look good. Are you ready for a little bit of truth? It may sting, so just hang tight. Nobody is watching your videos. There, I said it. Did it hurt? That was a little dose of reality. Millions of people are not watching your videos. Wouldn't you rather suck or be horrible at shooting video when you don't have an audience, when nobody's watching? Nod with me, just nod with me. Ah, that makes sense. When I share this theory with people, it's like a light bulb moment because they think that people are just gonna start watching every single video they pump out. You know who watched my first 20 videos? My mom, just her, by herself. I remember the first video I shot in my car. It was over 40 takes. I messed up so much. I fumbled over my words. I hit stop, I hit record, tried again. It was horrible. I had to be okay with being horrible. My friend Neil Dingra said something super interesting a few weeks ago. We did a training session together and one of the real estate agents asked him, yeah, but what if you really suck at video? And his answer, I mean, everybody laughed. He says, well, are you okay with you when you wake up in the morning? You're no different on video. You're still you. So get used to being you. Your skill will improve. I promise you, the more videos you shoot, you'll get better each time. Just get out of your own head. Don't worry about being horrible. The reality is you probably will. So deal with it. Tip number 2, be yourself. Well, who else would I be? You would be surprised how many people think they have to be someone else. Here's the thing. When you're different on video, and then when you meet somebody in person, their brain's gonna say something is wrong. Like what you're seeing here right now, that's me. Sometimes I'm just in a totally mellow mood and sometimes I just like to have fun and be silly. And see, here's the thing. When you meet me in real life, you get me, period. And when I act funny and goofy here on camera, I will act funny and goofy when I meet you. That's just me. I'm gonna tell you a story. There was an agent that used to shoot a lot of video. And the one thing she did, I mean, she broke the cardinal rule. She was trying to be someone else. And her personality on video did not match with her in real life. She created this persona, this character that people started following online. So she grew this following. And then people started meeting her. And then all of a sudden she became less and less relevant. On video, she tried to put on this mask, if you will. This agent is still after this many years called the biggest fake ever. I almost feel bad for her. She was pumping out this one character online, but she was being completely different in person. That is a recipe for disaster. I promise you, just don't do it. I don't know if I should call this tip 2.5 because it kind of goes along with tip number 2. So we won't call it 3. Let's call this one tip 2.5. You will attract a certain type of person, a certain type of personality, but that depends on who you are. If you speak like this, do you know what type of person you attract? Hi, I'm your new client. Can you come sell my house? Ever heard of the theory like attracts like? And this goes back to my previous story. This agent chose to be a different character online than in person. So she attracted this type of personality. And this personality didn't mesh well with this personality, who she actually was in real life. And this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Ready? I'm going to mention a name, and I know if you know this person, immediately you're going to have positive or negative thoughts about this person. Ready? Gary Vaynerchuk. You're either hitting the screen right now or you're giving me the good old thumbs up. He's very polarizing. You either love the guy or hate the guy. But he's a perfect example. He will attract the type of personality that he is. I think I made my point. Okay, I'm going to add 2.75 because I'm not on to tip 3 yet. Tip 2, say that 3 times fast. Tip 2.75. Here we go. The reality is your videos and your style will change over time. So don't worry if you suck. Don't worry about trying to be perfect. You don't have a style yet. If you're new to video, or if you've shot maybe 10 or 20 videos, that's still pretty much being new to video. Whether you think you have a certain style on video, I promise you, you don't, because you have not shot enough video to know what your style is. When Gary Vee started, his videos were a little bit boring, but compare him back then to now. His style continues to change. My style has changed. 8 years ago, I wouldn't be shooting videos like that. It was more like, hi, I'm Sebastian, and I'm gonna give you 3 tips for buying your first home. And you know what? 8 years from now, my video style is going to change as well. Does that make sense? Tip number 3. I had to pull my phone out to show you this one. Point number 3 is create bullet points. Those are my bullet points. They're not on video. You don't see them. You will see jump cuts in my video. Itchy nose. Whew. So you hit record, you talk about your first bullet point, and then you stop. And it may feel a little unnatural because you want to turn off the camera, but just let it roll. You refer back to your tips, and then like right here, tip number 3, create bullet points. Show them my phone, literally show them my phone. This will keep you on track. That was tip 3. Now I'm looking at tip number 4. Don't stop the recording, just keep going. And here's the cool part. Keep your outtakes, all right? Because your outtakes are what's going to make your videos interesting. People have a tendency to cut those parts out. Every now and then I will keep one in there when I mess up. So what? Put that in there. It just shows that you're human. So keep the camera rolling. If you screw up, so be it. Compose yourself. Take a deep breath. Focus the mind and keep rolling. Tip number 5. This is an interesting tip because people feel like they have to talk to the camera. Right, Bob? I mean, it makes sense. But you know what the cool thing is? Sometimes your videos will turn out better when you're not talking to the camera. So if somebody can actually record you having a conversation with somebody, those videos will sometimes be better for beginners because sometimes staring into this camera is freaky. Like there's nobody there and you're thinking, am I actually talking to somebody? It's a quiet room. I feel like I'm talking to myself. And yes, that's the way it feels. But what if you, for example, you're having a conversation with somebody else and you're talking back and forth and this camera's recording, sooner or later you're gonna forget about it. That footage will sometimes be amazing because you're not aware, well, you're less aware that you're being recorded. And the conversation with somebody else is natural and it flows naturally. I formed a business relationship with somebody that found me on YouTube. A little while ago, he sent me one of his videos and he says, hey, would you mind giving me a few tips on how to make my next video better? I took that video and I recorded the actual video and myself talking. I would play a little bit, I would pause, I would talk to him, one to the camera and say, okay, you could do this better or that better. And what I noticed is this person, his next video was already a million times better. There were some unnatural portions of his video where he tried speaking to the camera and came off a little bit robotic. And then I noticed in a different part of the video, he wasn't talking to the camera, but the camera was recording a conversation he had with somebody else. And I brought that to his attention. I said, look how different you look. You look very robotic here and very natural here. It's like night and day between the video that I helped him with, the one I coached him on, and the next video was almost like a completely different person. The whole point of that was I noticed that he was so much better when he wasn't direct with the camera, when he was direct with somebody else. I'm going to throw a bonus tip at you. I wasn't sure if I wanted to include this one. I mean, I can create a video series just on this one bonus. And my concern is I may be throwing a bomb at you because I'm giving you little tips here and there. And when I throw this bonus tip at you, it's just gonna explode all over you and make you, well, I don't know how you're gonna react, but it truly is the biggest tip of them all. So the biggest thing that will make your videos watchable, shareable, is by telling stories. When we talk to other people, a lot of the time, whether you realize it or not, you tell stories. Stories is what people want to listen to. Think about how many stories I told in this video. I didn't throw a bunch of tips at you and say, do it. I wrapped them around a story. People think that creating video is about how good they look. So tell people what they want to hear in the form of a story. If you don't listen to any of the tips that I gave you in this video, just remember this one: tell stories. That's really what it's about. When you hit record and you don't know what to say, it's because you don't know what story to tell. And like I said, I can go on and on about story structure, how to get people's emotions to the state you want them in. You're only memorable when you invoke a feeling from somebody. That's when you're talked about. I hope you enjoyed this video. Bob, how are we doing over there? You hanging in there with me? If you're still hanging out watching this video, do me a favor. In the comment section below, tell me which tip you liked the most. Which one gave you that aha moment? I'd love to get some feedback from you guys. I'm totally being selfish here. Please click like on this video, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell button so YouTube will notify you of every video I pump out. I know, totally selfish. Bob, you know what's coming. See you tomorrow.